Hello and welcome to another day in the arena. This is CoffeeStout coming at you with Azorious Artifacts yet again, but this time it is different because we are going into Explorer. While the Historic deck has things like Retrofitter Foundry and the Esper Sentinel and all of these overpowered, obnoxiously strong cards, we are going to be using a lot of the new set, Lost Caverns of Ixalan, as we prepare further for Full Pioneer in Magic the Gathering. You're going to see a lot of new stuff come in because power creep is definitely a thing, and the new cards are going to be represented by the Zoetic Glyph, the Tinker's Tote, and one copy of Subterranean Scooter. Also, honorable mention, 2 Restless Anchorages. So, if you remember, the Historic deck really works on getting damage off on turn 2 and a lot of damage to the face of the opponent. This deck works almost identically, but instead of just having Ensoul Artifact in hopes that our Loris is good in a particular matchup, we have 4 copies of Zoetic Glyph. So, for 3, it becomes a 5/4, and then you get to discover 3 whenever the creature that this is attached to dies, which means that we get another card to the battlefield. We mostly put everything out because Portable Holes and Glass Caskets are artifacts that we could put Zoetic Glyph on and Ensoul Artifact, so even if they don't have a target, we generally want to put those on the battlefield anyway. Especially since we have 3 copies of Animating Faerie, which puts 4 1/1 counters on a non-creature artifact you control, meaning that Schooner, Glass Casket, and Portable Hole, as well as Tinker's Tote, really, are viable targets for Bring to Life, but other things such as Gingerbrute, well, Ingenious Smith wouldn't get hit by that anyway, or Ornithopter wouldn't be able to be converted into a creature from a non-creature. So very specific targets that we're looking for with Animating Faerie, as well as the fact that you're putting those things in danger by putting counters on them and animating those guys as creatures, because removal spells as well as damage spells can get them off of the field because they don't have the tagline of indestructible like the Darksteel Citadel does. That's why it's really awesome if you have the time to find Ensoul Artifact, Zoetic Glyph, and the Darksteel Citadel. It makes it very, very difficult to deal with, especially in Explorer over Historic, which has a lot more ways to exile things and deal with that kind of a board state. Fatal Push being the best removal spell in current Explorer doesn't hit the Darksteel Citadel, so we do have a little bit of protection there. Also, it makes it hard for Fatal Push to deal with things like Tinker's Tote because they have to get rid of something on their side of the field before they can even activate it, so that's fantastic for us. Tinker's Tote can actually bypass Fatal Push, much like a Darksteel Citadel does, but of course there's other removal spells in Explorer that we do have to be careful of, but it does bypass the one main card that most people are playing. Being able to double up things like Zoetic Glyph and Ensoul Artifact is absolutely phenomenal because we have a lot of small artifacts in this deck like Ornithopter, the Gingerbrute, even things like Portable Hole and Glass Casket, which we could put these guys on, and of course we definitely have Darksteel Citadel as well. Michiko's Reign of Truth and all that glitters, still a part of the deck, still part of the main strategy of making our boys really big so that we could deal damage, but this deck is a little bit slower than the Historic version of the deck, where you want to be winning on turn 2, turn 3, but it has enough mid-range capabilities to be able to sneak about 25-35% of the wins in those things. This deck gets a little bit later in games 5, 6, and you're hoping to win around turn 5 or 6. That's why we're running 22 lands in this deck, because we need 3 lands to do Tinker's Tote, Animating Faerie, and the Zoetic Glyph. Other than that, it's mostly the same deck. It's just a little bit slower, and we're trying to add some consistency with things like Tinker's Tote, which gains us a little bit of life. We do not have Vault Scourge, so the life gain from Tinker's Tote is worth putting it in the deck anyway because there's no other ways to really gain life, so we are kind of at a disadvantage in a lot of ways because of the lack of that one card. Sideboard is just this kind of stuff. Turmoil's Crypt, graveyards. This is an artifact. When they start to build up their graveyard, we sacrifice the crypt, exile target player's graveyard, and especially with Delve being part of the format now, this has you have a lot of reasons to want to play like a turn mod's Crypt. Fading Hope protects some of our creatures. It also disrupts the opponent. Fantastic ossification. Since we're going a little bit later in games, ossification comes into some of these matches to either get rid of a planeswalker or get rid of a bigger creature than a mana cost of 3, because that's what Glass Casket could hit. Ossification could hit any creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. So fantastic. Stonebrain. We're mostly using Stonebrain because people are playing kind of greedy decks, especially when it comes to the black, red, what else was there? Blue, that is really trying to get the elemental out from the graveyard, the 3/2 flyer for 4. Cannot remember the name of the card right now. Ceremonial Knife. Just fun. Really just fun. If we're having trouble finding artifacts, then we can put this into the main board, equip it to an Ornithopter, and crew the Subterranean Schooner. Other than that, you're making a lot of blood tokens so that you can eventually put Zoetic Glyph, Ensoul Artifact, and the Animating Faerie, animating those blood tokens and hitting the opponent pretty nicely with that. Siphon Essence. It counters a creature, it counters a planeswalker, and then you create a blood token. Creature-heavy decks that are a little bit slower and more mid-rangey, we might want to Siphon Essence them so that we could turn our blood into creatures and attack the opponent. So sideboard has a lot of turning blood into creatures, and it is fantastic. The first version of this deck, it was a little bit too slow. Started with Ceremonial Knife in it. And yes, I did do the beatdown with blood tokens. It was hilarious. Maybe a video coming out a little bit later about that if there is any interest in seeing a bunch of blood tokens and map tokens beating opponents up. Quite hilarious. But for this particular deck, we wanted to have the best 60 cards in our deck be in the starting 60. Therefore, Ingenious Smith, Michiko's Reign of Truth, Ensoul Artifact, All That Glitters, Glass Casket, Tinker's Tote, Animating Faerie, Zoetic Glyph, Ornithopter, Portable Hole, and the Gingerbrute, all coming to bear to lay the smackdown on the opponents. What was once a 1/1 is now a 6/6. What do you want to do, opponent? What a lovely deck. And I may have recorded these matches already and am just talking to you from the future, and that is 100% true. I think you guys are going to like what this could do in Explorer, especially as we move into a format more similar to Pioneer. We're going to have to be able to go toe-to-toe with these other Pioneer decks, and I think for now, this deck is 100% safe, and I will show you why when we get into the matches. Thank you for joining today. Make sure that you've liked the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in a bit for the wrap-up. And we're going to have to play first. Mana base, we got a white, we got a blue, and we also have a Darksteel Citadel, Gingerbrute on turn 1, turn 2, probably looking for a target for Portable Hole, or maybe even Michiko's Reign of Truth. I like the hand, it gives us a lot of diversity, it allows us to do a lot of stuff. Maybe we're even starting with the Darksteel Citadel, because Gingerbrute is colorless, and we are on the play. This deck really likes to be on the play, so looking for good things in round 1 here. Round 2 might be a little bit rougher, but beggars and choosers. Beggars and choosers. Couple of things here. We have the Ensoul Artifact. We also have the Zoetic Glyph. I think we want this to be white. We know that much. And he could remove Gingerbrute. He could have a Fatal Push. Fatal Push is an amazing removal spell. He doesn't, so Michiko's Reign of Truth onto Gingerbrute, tempting him to try to kill that Gingerbrute. Nice little temptation for the opponent as he looks around. He has Hive, so we're looking for mid-range, and another Hive? Probably would have rather drawn anything else but that. I guess we want to do this now. Ensoul Artifact on the Darksteel Citadel. Do you still want to remove the Gingerbrute? Hasn't yet. So we could swing. Opponent really wants to remove that Gingerbrute, I think. Darksteel Citadel a little bit stickier. Heartless Act. Fine. So Gingerbrute dies. Opponent is still on a clock. See what he decides to do. Probably needs to drop a land, but I mean, we have 2 lands, we have a 3rd one in hand. That's all we need for this deck to really start going. And Reckoner Bankbuster, he is setting up for mid-range, which is really helpful. It means he's not going to be doing a whole lot. Now, my question is, can I do Animating Faerie on the Darksteel Citadel right now? Let's try it. No, we cannot. Fine. Fine, fine, fine. Swing. Hit ya. Portable Hull. Grab the Reckoner Bankbuster. Pass the turn. Portable Hull, still amazing interaction for the opponent. And he scoops it on away. That was round 1. With this particular deck, this is the first match that I've had with it. And yeah, we're going to see mono black, it looks like. So lots of removals, stuff like that. So possibly Fading Hope coming into this. Just 2 copies, though. Portable Hull worked out really nicely for us. Glass Casket is going to as well. Animating Faerie will go down to 2 of those. And Zoetic Glyph, since it's a little bit slower than Ensoul Artifact, will go down to 3 copies of that. And go into round number 2. So we're on the draw. This hand lacks early interaction, but we do have Ensoul Artifact and a Darksteel Citadel. So turn 3 should be interesting, to say the least. Maybe we draw into a Gingerbrute or something. No, of course we draw into land. Well, alright. Make this come in tapped. Maybe we should have mulliganed this to hopefully get like a 3-mana hand, but drawing lands, we only have 20 in the deck, so worst case scenario, we just draw all the lands and then we do what we need to do. See, there we go. I have noticed that it's easier to flood whenever you have more mana in your hand than you want to begin with. Ensoul Artifact on the Darksteel Citadel. Let's see if the opponent has any responses. He does not. Maybe that's a power up the Mutavault. Mutavault, one heck of a card. All creature types till the end of turn. It is still a land. Opponent going a little slow here. Okay. What do you do? Are you going to be the ropey guy? Are you upset that we are running Azorious Artifacts, or are you thinking really deeply about how to kill the Darksteel Citadel? Probably thinking about how to kill the Darksteel Citadel, to be honest. Draws a card. And we continue to wait. I think he's salty. I don't know. I think he is. I'm going to go with he's salty because I consider that a compliment. Throws a swamp down, looks at the Citadel again, passes a turn. We draw ourselves a Fading Hope. Okay, well, let's swing. We have the Fading Hope open. So if he tries to do shenanigans, we can return the Darksteel Citadel. We would still lose the Ensoul Artifact, but hey. Beggars, choosers. Let's go with Adarkar Wastes. And I guess we're just passing. Pass back to the opponent. Have Fading Hope open. Opponent draws a card. And plays what? A Duress. Okay. Well, we got 3 lands in our hand. A Tinker's Tote, a Zoetic Glyph, and a Fading Hope. Gives him a really good idea of what he should be doing, and he gets rid of the Zoetic Glyph. Alright, that's probably very, very, very smart. Tap land, and I guess we're just passing back to us. Most likely. Okay, go to my turn. We draw another land. Okay, well, let's get these pathways out of our hand. Do it like this. Swing. Swing for 5. Opponent takes it. Takes it like a chump, and then we respond with Tinker's Tote. This sets us up for Michiko's Reign of Truth quite nicely, because it gives us 2 artifacts. Destroy target artifact, that's 100% fine. We still get the 2 1/1s. Little bit of underwhelming Abrade here, though Abrade is very good against us. Looking at my little 1/1s, that's a lot. That's a lot. It did take him 2 cards to get rid of my 1, though. So, really happy with Zoetic Glyph and how it operated right there. Really did a lot of work. And he's kind of lucky that he did that, because now we get all that glitters, and it's only +3/+3. And on something that's indestructible, our opponent hasn't shown that he could deal with it, and we don't really have many options. We're going to put all that glitters on the Darksteel Citadel, grows it to an 8/8, and swing in. Fatal Push doesn't do that, buddy. That's an act of desperation. I'm going to give him the, oops. I wish I could say sorry right now, because I'm sorry, Mr. Opponent. Now he thinks I'm an asshole because I said just oops. I still can't say sorry. All right, well, it is whatever. We're hoping that this is enough. Destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. That's fine. Good game, he says. I say good game, and he dies. Awesome. So he finally found the removal for it, and he wanted to show me that he had the removal for it, but, I mean, he had to lose the life anyway. So, all that glitters was the right move. To get that extra 3 damage off was the perfect move. We did it. We won the first round, but the opponent had us win in the way that he wanted to lose. So, hey, it worked. It worked. It did it. So, maybe there is a deck here. Round 3, round 1 was phenomenal. Round 2 was a lot of this, actually. Just doing it again. If we draw 1 more mana, this is a good hand. I'm going to keep. And I'm going to really, really regret that, I think. I'm pretty sure we get punished for keeping a 1 mana hand. But I'm sick of mulliganing into more 1 mana hands. We're going to go with it. Chances are we're going to draw land. Got a 38% chance to draw land, if we are to believe this. And I like those odds. 38%. Opponent's still trying to figure out what he wants to discard. Discards the Ensoul Artifact. Probably smart. Drops that. And, okay. Great. Fantastic. Swing in for 1. And it looks like we are going to be going and adding a land to this. That's good enough for me. Yep, that's good enough. Okay, concede. Shuffler again. Playing some tricks on us. Maybe a couple Fading Hopes. And we cut 2 portable holes. I don't think that Siphon Essence is totally necessary. It costs 3. I might find a cheaper counterspell for this deck. But man, oh man, we keep getting stuck on lands. Absolutely insane. Come on, rolling, 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 rolling. We got to get some lands. Shuffler, do not do this to me again. Oh, God, thank you. Thank you. Not the best hand in the world, but we have 3 lands. Haven't seen that in a while. Start this one off as blue. Pathway comes down as white. Another pathway. Let's get the Smith going. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Ornithopter or Darksteel Citadel? I think Ornithopter. Yes, he's going to have removal, but this gives him a second removal target with the Ingenious Smith getting a little bit larger. They always target the Smith. Always. Fantastic stuff. That's good for us. White. Ornithopter. And we might as well get this going now and start getting damage off. We got 2 Thopters. Good enough for 3 damage each turn. Yes, opponent. Passes. No mana, no nothing. Perfect. Target Ornithopter. Probably gets removed. It does. And we drop a Eiganjo and pass the turn. Really need a good draw. It is. Okay, we got a draw, guys. We can't swing this turn. Fine. Kind of odd, but we accept it. He really wanted the Ornithopter to die. But now we got the Portrait of Michiko and 2 1/1s. Otherwise, this would be a 1/1, and now it's a 4/4. Drawn on the lock again. Fine. Knows how to play removal. Okay. Well, we're going to put this on the Tinker's Tote. 4 1/1 counters on it. And now we can start getting in for damage. He might have used his removal too soon, but I'm going to guess that he has a whole slew of other removal spells in there. Oh, the Maze Mind Tome. Scries 1. Put a page counter on this. Draw a card. 4 or more of those, you exile it, and if you do, gain 4 life. Is this a Baubles deck? Could be. It'd be really weird that he has this removal in here. Maybe he just has the Maze Mind Tome for value. That's what we're hoping. It only costs 2. So we can Portable Hole that. Swing. Put him down to 5. Portable Hole. Grab the toe. We're going to let this enter tapped and also play out our Animating Faerie. Hopefully we don't get hit with any kind of board wipe. I'm not sure if our opponent's deck wants to play a board wipe, though, and he scoops it up. He scoops it up. So whenever we have our mana good, it seems like we are nigh unstoppable. He has plenty of removal, but it was not enough. We're going to stick with that just 2 Fading Hopes, and maybe one more get those Portable Holes back in here. Cut those Fading Hopes back. Because if he's playing artifacts on the side of the board, we want to get them all off of the field. We don't want him getting value. That's another really strong thing about Portable Hole, is it gets rid of things like what we just saw, the Crypt there, as well as things like Reckoner, Bankbuster, and the likes of those. This hand is not great, but we do have a Darksteel Citadel with an Animating Faerie in hand, so it's very keepable, as well as Restless Anchorage for later on getting that value off. I think we take turn 1 off. Anchorage. Ornithopter, I guess, for some value. Maybe he removes it. We don't have any way to pump it yet. Gingerbrute. Well, we're going to play out the Citadel. We're going to play a Gingerbrute. Sir. And we're going to play out a Gingerbrute. They both get on the battlefield. Guess we're swinging for 2. Opponent pushes one of them. Had a feeling he had a push in hand. Had a feeling. And yes, it was correct. So on our next turn, we Tinker's Tote. And then that's it. Then the next turn after that, that's when we get Animating Faerie and swing with the Citadel. And we're moving in towards trying to win the game at that point. They always get so much slower after they lose a match. Really try to nail down this win. Our opponent is, at least. So mana pass, says the opponent. Well, let's swing. Swing for 1. Opponent, what do you got? Unfortunately, this is a sorcery. Fine. Glad we swung first. Because though he wipes out my board a little bit, we have responses. We could use Tinker's Tote. Pass to the opponent. We get Narset.
I know 88 ways to defeat you.
Really? Well, we don't draw cards anyway. Do we care about that? Probably not. Could swing in with the Anchorage. What if we were to go like this? What did he get? Mesmerizing Tome. Okay. Do it like this. We're going to animate Tinker's Tote. We're going to swing at the Narset. Then 2. Yeah, sure. We didn't get to hit him in the face that hard. But we did get rid of a Narset here.
I can see.
He basically replaced it with a 1 card. Fine. Opponent's still stuck on lands. I feel your pain, my guy. I don't feel bad for you, though, because we were just there. Let's animate Citadel. Opponent. 3 mana, sir. Okay, he's going to kill the Tinker's Tote. I'm going to actually sacrifice Tinker's Tote. We get a Glass Casket. That's not what we want to see, but it is an artifact on the field. We do gain some life. We swing in for 6. And then we play out or keep the Ornithopter. Let's keep Ornithopter in hand. Next time we can swing in with the Anchorage as well. Shelter's Edict. All right. That does the thing. And we draw an Eiganjo. Fine. Well, the only thing we can really do here is swing in with the Anchorage, as well as our 2 1/1s. A push? All of the removal. All of it. That is a shame. Drop Ornithopter. We're going to hold the Eiganjo for now. Alas, opponent is gone. All right, well. We'll do our swinging. Well, I guess this is it. Well, we'll see you in the next match. We will see you there. By the way, 2 wins, 1 loss here with Azorious Artifacts. Pretty happy with that, especially since we're not playing with our busted stuff. Let's move on to the next match. Again. Wow. Did it again to me. Okay, we mulligan. 2 lands. It's exactly what we want. Pretty rough hand. We could put all that glitters back on the bottom. We have a plains, we have an island. We now have a Hallowed Fountain. Well, we could pull this in tap. Save us on that life. What do you got? Ledger Shredder. Fantastic. That looks like a great target for Portable Hole, sir. Goodbye. Ledger Shredder always seems to make his way into these decks in Explorer. Always. Good card. I'm kind of hesitant to put this on Portable Hole because he could get his Ledger Shredder back, and he probably will, but is the damage that we put him through enough to offset the disadvantage from him removing the Portable Hole? Probably. He just gets a 1/3 back later in game and doesn't get cards off of this in the beginning. So we're going to go with it. Oh, okay. The Phoenix. He casts it from his hand. Interesting. Well, we'll drop the Darksteel Citadel and we could just get him out of this game right here. You are not fast enough, sir. Drop another one. That's a big old Portable Hole, my guy. 14 damage. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh, that's gotta hurt. You gotta remove the hole. That's not gonna do it. That's a loss. Okay. There. And now, just so we get both of them off the field, we put this on the Citadel. Yeah, baby. Get in there. That's great. That is absolutely phenomenal. Clear field for the opponent. He wanted to do the whole delve thing where he continually gets these guys out with a lot of cantrips and stuff like that, but we are just way too fast for him. Way too fast. Glass Casket, we could go down 2 of those. He's not going to have many creatures. And what are these guys called? I always forget. The Arclight Phoenix. Maybe Stonebrain. Yeah, Stonebrain comes in. We take out the schooner. If we get Stonebrain on the Arclight Phoenix, we win. Let me write that name down just so I don't forget. The lazy man's, the pauper's way of remembering card names for Stonebrain. Don't think it's illegal, but we're going to do it anyway. And we're going to go. 60 cards. I need those cards back. We're going to get 1 schooner, 1 fading hope. There we go. We got a deck. We got a 60 card deck. We're ready to roll. Okay. We could deal with this. Schooner on turn 2. Drop Anchorage. Thoughtseize. Oh, that's not fair. That is not fair, sir. What happened to letting me win? Well, he did get rid of my Ensoul Artifact, so we're going to start with Anchorage anyway. And I guess turn 2, drop the schooner. Yeah, drop the schooner. Subterranean schooner. He mills. Fine. Prankster does some work. What do you get to the bin? A Shieldred. And the Arclight Phoenix. Fantastic. That means we're going to have to deal with that. We get a Stonebrain. That changes things. Pay 2 life. Drop the Phoenix. Or drop the Gingerbrute. Power up the Phoenix. Swing. He's probably got removal. Bitter Triumph. He pays 3 life. The schooner is dead. But now we could drop Stonebrain. And the Arclight Phoenix is going to go goodbye. Prankster comes out. Fine. He knows what's coming. He knows what's coming right now. We're going to target you. We're going to name the Arclight Phoenix. There it is. Done. None in hand. 1, 2, 3 in the library, and then the 1 from the graveyard as well. He's got Land Bitter Triumph in hand. Perfect. Now, we could totally swing him with the Gingerbrute. Opponent. Bitter Triumph. Fine. But his main win con is now gone. 1 undiscovered card in hand, and it is a Thoughtseize. So Animating Faerie definitely goes away here. And now we just gotta wait to draw a card. Didn't find it there. Guess we're just ending the turn. Opponent, what did you draw? Guess we should have swung it with the Anchorage there. We're gonna remember that from now on. Swing with the Anchorage. Treasure Cruise. Great card from Khans of Tarkir. Especially for this deck. Now he's got some fuel. Plays a land. Plays a Ledger Shredder. Fine. Passing to us. Swinging for 1. Okay, fine. Go to my turn. Get to flip the Michiko Grain of Truth, and we're still building up our mana base. Power up the bad boy. Get him rolling. I guess we're going to swing. You can't kill me on board. Yep, just chumped it away. And let's see if we can get some land out of our library. What's the top card? Maybe Scryed at the bottom. All that glitters. Yeah, we'll put that in the graveyard, I think. Right? Yeah, put that in the graveyard. We need to get aggressive. Opponent swings for 1. Keeps Shredder up. It's pretty terrifying, actually. Pay a couple of life. Yeah, and we have enough to do all that glitters here. And we're really going to put some pressure on him. Push. Find. Resolves. Power up Acreage. Okay. Swings with the Anchorage. Oh no! A bitter triumph. Okay. Well, can't win them all. Yep. You come in and do your damage. We draw another land. All right, well, we play the Tinker's Tote, create a couple 1/1s, and I think we hold that land. There's no reason to play the land. Swings on him for 1. He could really be doing a little bit more damage. Wow, all right. This blocks a Prankster, right? It blocks a Prankster, so we're at least sitting pretty. He's probably really hoping to get his 3 off. Now, it's going to be hard for him to finish off the game with the Arclight Phoenix Exile. So it's really going to be a war of attrition at this point. Thoughtseize. All right, you pay a couple life. You get to look at a land in my hand. You go down to 6, play a land. Swings in for 2. We pop the Tinker's Tote. So we go up to 14, then down to 12. That's what we like to see. Oh, yes, we got an Ensoul Artifact. That's what I'm talking about, baby. And since he doesn't seem to have a lot of exile stuff, so we're going to power up the Darksteel Citadel with this. And now we're going to be swinging, baby. War of attrition, and we're winning. And we are winning. Keep holding the mountain. He's seen the mountain. Cycling the Xander's Lounge. Maybe this guy's trying to do just too much with this. But I'm pretty sure he would have won a long time ago if it wasn't for our brilliant exile. And we got our rank Platinum Tier 3. Here we come, Mythic. After making the changes, first match, well, we had quite the roper, but our mana base was better, and it's better in this one as well. Maybe we just needed that 1 extra land to really make this deck kind of pop. The hand is fine. We got the portable hole. We got the Ornithopter. Turn 1, Ornithopter. Having a hole on the battlefield. Then Adarkar Wastes playing Subterranean Schooner. Trying to get some value. Or do we play Thopter? Play Anchorage. There's a Triome. Ooh, we got an untapped land. Kind of perfect. We'll play the untapped land and then pass Beyond Attacks. Play the Schooner. Pass the turn. Next we could get Glyph going. Or do we get the portable hole going? Oh, you got a Virtue of Persistence deck. Okay. Well, that's why we're going to do it like this. We're going to pay the 2 life. Zoetic Glyph on the Schooner. Swing. That card's a little bit slow. It might work in Standard, but it's a little bit slow. See what the opponent can do. I might be totally outclassed here. Don't know yet. Drop Adarkar Wastes. And I think we're going to power up the Anchorage and swing. I think that's the best move. Power the Anchorage. Swing in for 7. We create a map token. That's probably getting Ensoul Artifact on it next turn. Opponent. What does thou? A Field of Ruin. I'm actually kind of surprised that he didn't do that before I swung. Okay, get a Plains. Cycle Sensor, fine. Draws a card for turn, and can you remove the Schooner? We have another Anchorage in hand as well, which is fantastic. Well, let's get some attacking going. Let's get some attacking on. He's at 10. He has to remove one of these two in order to stay in the match. Swing. Opponent pushes the Schooner. Fine. We get to discover 3. Okay, we get an Ornithopter. That's really good. Takes 5. We drop Anchorage. I guess we just pass. I'm killing you with the treasure map. Yes. A little desperate from the opponent's side. Finally finds a 4th land. Good for you. What do you got? Board wipe would be pretty devastating, but we do have a Restless Anchorage. Nicol Bolas. Wow. Alright, well, we'll drop a Portable Hull. Okay. That's a strong one. I guess Zoetic Glyph. Nah, Ensoul Artifact a little bit better here. He's completely tapped out, so he can't win at this point. And he scoops it up. He scoops it up. He takes it away. Man, oh man. Nicol Bolas. Am I even worried about Nicol Bolas? Not really. What do I think he has? Pushes and maybe a bigger removal spell. Shark Typhoon's kind of annoying to deal with. Nicol Bolas. Maybe powerful. But I don't see anything really that screams like we need to get rid of this card. Maybe Stonebrain isn't perfect in here, but it is an artifact. So we are getting some benefits from that. And I don't think Portable Hull is going to have much use here at all. His first drop might be Nicol Bolas. And for that reason, we're going to grab the Ossification and get rid of 2 Glass Caskets. Have a Glass Casket, have a Portable Hull, and Stonebrain hopefully going to be pulling in some work. Maybe we're doing Fatal Push for the Stonebrain. Like that kind of makes a little bit of sense to me because it keeps our creatures on the field. And all of our creatures have so low investment to get them onto the field. It seems like it makes a little bit of sense to do that. Start off with Gingerbrute. Rar. Swing. Pass. Opponent. Mana. Pass. Citadel is a great draw for us. Kind of changes what we're going to be doing too. Darksteel Citadel. Michiko's Reign of Truth. Going to target the Gingerbrute and he's going to push the Gingerbrute. Do it. You always have Fatal Push. Sheoldred's Edict does the same thing. But, oh, that's bad for us that he has Sheoldred's Edicts in here. Because that gets away from Indestructible. But it's good that he used it on the Gingerbrute. So I'm actually quite happy with that. Let's go ahead and get this rolling. Ensoul Artifact. Swing in for 5. Pass the turn to the opponent. Mana. Pass. Okay. We're going to try to swing here. Swing. Takes it. Fantastic. I'm going to actually put this Glass Casket on the battlefield. We're not going to exile any of your creatures, mana value 3 or less. Memory a Deluge. A little bit slow for what we're trying to do there, opponent. Sorry to let you know that. A decision has been made, and we go to the opponent's turn. Ray of Enfeeblement, fine. Okay, so he is... what we're hoping is happening here is the opponent doesn't have the removal for 2, but maybe does for 1. All that glitters. 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be fatal. This should be fatal. Can he get out of this? No, he cannot, and he scoops it on up. Fantastic. Is this deck just as dangerous in Explorer as it is in Historic? It's looking pretty solid. All right, opting to play first for sure. Glass Caskets, Michiko's Reign in Truth, Tinker's Tote. Nothing to do till turn 3, but we have 3 lands, so we know we're going to hit those things. And chances of us dropping 1 and 2 drops, pretty solid. A smarter move would have been to ship the hand, but, you know, we got to gamble a little bit here. Well, that's actually pretty solid for us. Grabbing the Soul Scar Mage has something to do with our mana on turn 2, so thank you very much, opponent. Swift Spear comes in, hits me, pass. Well, let's do it like this. Now he's going to have a lot of damage spells, but 5 damage is pretty hard to get off. Gingerbrute looking very mighty. If we get to untap with the Gingerbrute, we could Tinker's Tote. Could have a Berate. He does have a Berate. Good for you. Good for you. Main boarding up raids. Well, let's get Gingerbrute down again. Michiko's Reign of Truth. Grows a Brute. There's 5 more. Bam! Always try to find a way to get damage off. Okay, Lightning Strike. It beats. Okay. Take some damage, and ooh, the Animating Faerie, large and in charge. Huh? Put it on the Citadel. We take some damage. Spell Pierce. All right. Man, oh man, oh man. Swings it with the spear. Yep. Rose it with the Blazing Crescendo. Opt. Getting it higher. 6. We go down to 8. Fine. Well, we'll flip the Portrait of Michiko. Play this. And I think we want to Glass Casket the Swift Spear. Now we got an Anchorage on the field. We've got our Glass Caskets with all of his creatures under them. Michiko's Reign of Truth might get removed here. Soul Scar Mage instead. Passes. Fine. Do it like this. Tinker's Tote. Make some 1/1s. Spell Pierce again. Alright. Gingerbrute. Swing. Didn't mean to swing with the Gingerbrute there. But, you know, maybe we're just trying to intimidate the opponent. He's swinging. Can you get the damage off? That's 5. There's 6. A little bit too aggressive, opponent. Okay. Glyph. Glyph is really solid. Is it enough to kill the opponent, though? Yes, it is. It is. A little bit too aggressive, Mr. Sir. Darksteel Citadel. They're both 5/5 now. We swing. Opponent can block one of them. But we take the first match. Good game. What a top deck. What a top deck. That's fantastic. Top decking wars. What is that card called? Blazing Crescendo. Okay. So we want to make sure that we get Stonebrain in here. And we're going to get rid of that Crescendo, the Blazing Crescendo. Portable Holes hit. Glass Caskets hit. And they hit well. They get most of the things our opponent wants to do away from them. Now, we did see some counter spells from the opponent, but that is fine. A handful of artifacts and creatures. Just what we like. We keep tap land for the opponent. We will pay. Drop the Gingerbrute. Swing in. Down to 19. 20 turn clock. Can you win? 20 turn clocks used to be a thing. There's a mana. And we get the dragon, the sprite dragon. Really? Interesting. Well, I think that we're going to have to make that go away. We could Ensoul Artifact on the Gingerbrute. I would hate for that to kill me. So we Portable Hole. Pull it off of the field. We do have a Glass Casket in case he has another creature. Decent enough creature to get rid of as well. Flying Haste, 1/1 counters on it whenever you cast a non-creature spell. Gets really big really fast. And we get a Swift Spear. Grows it. This guy seems to be the kind of player that really wants to do all of his damage as quick as humanly possible. So it is very possible that we just outpace him completely. Okay. Throws a Brute. A Braid is a thing that we have to be very aware of. Spell Pierce. Fine. Not what we wanted to see. Swing it with a Brute. Drop Ornithopter. Pass a turn. Glass Casket can take the Swift Spear. He uses a Braid on the Portable Hole. Lets me keep my attackers. Fine. Probably figures that he can remove my creatures anytime he wants. And for the most part, that's true. Let's be aggressive. Play the Ingenious Smith. Looking for a Portable Hole. We find Portable Hole. We grab the Portable Hole. We drop the Spirit Dragon into the port. Oh, another Spell Pierce. Okay, well, go ahead. How many Spell Pierces you got in there? Skull, Scar, Mage. It's a good one. Lightning Strike on the Thopter. Opponent getting really close to me saying you got round 2. I'll take 5. Eiganjo. Animating Faerie doesn't do a whole lot, but we could Tinker's Tote here. In fact, I think we do. So we could swing with the Smith. Down to 14. Could play this. And I think we need the mana. To be 100% honest, I think we need the mana. Now we could get the Tinker's Tote with the Glass Casket. He's a pretty decent sized creature. He's out of mana, or out of cards in hand. Wow. Okay, should have held the Eiganjo, looks like. 5 mana. This is 3, 4, 5. 3, Glass Casket. Grab the Skull Scar Mage. Throws the Smith. Putting counters on the Tinker's Tote. 7 damage. Yeah. Down to 7. And we're just going to beat each other up over and over again. Okay, get some damage off with the dragon. Passes. Ornithopter was a draw. Interesting. This is 7, so this is fatal here. He's got to block these. And the only way he lives is blocking the Tinker's Tote. So we can swing with everything. Takes the opponent down to 1. Animating Faerie. Ornithopter. Throws the Smith. I guess we kind of missed Fatal there, right? We missed Fatal because if we had dropped the Ornithopter, we would have grown the Smith. Opponent says good game, we say good game. But I did miss Fatal there. Scoops it up! Scoops it up! Fantastic performance today for Azorious Artifacts and Explorer. That was quite fun. Let's go to a post-game wrap. So Azorious Artifacts and its new friends did absolutely wonderful in the arena today. Zoetic Glyph did exactly as well as I thought it would. Animating Faerie did very well for us as well, though we are lacking a lot of the interactions with the Esper Sentinels and the Retrofitter Foundry and stuff like that in the historic build of this deck. This particular bad boy does just fine in Explorer, and it's actually much cheaper than most of the other decks out there for Explorer. As you can see, we got mostly commons and uncommons in here. The only rare is literally the land base and the subterranean schooner. We do just fine. Restless Anchorage did a lot of work here, so I highly recommend a couple of these. Restless Anchorage is just a good card in general, and the rest of the land base is literally things that come in untapped. That's what we want, untapped lands at all times. Tapped lands kill us pretty rapidly because we need to get damage off really quickly. 5 wins, 3 losses for this deck overall, and I don't know. I think that Azorious Artifacts are just fine in Explorer. Not as strong as a historic deck, but overall does a lot of good things that we want to see done in Explorer. Thank you for joining today. Make sure that you've liked the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time in the arena. Bye.